What do you think about the whole soft life trend?
I honestly, I was shocked. I was like, what are you talking about? When you told me about it yesterday, I was like, oh, girl, I've been doing that. That's what it's called, though?
Right. No, I mean, it's this big trend.
Soft life.
Soft. I mean, I like the way it sounds.
Yeah, it sounds really pretty, easy, soft.
It's interesting because I feel like as a society, we got to put a label on everything.
Right.
But, I mean, I get it. I like it. It's not
Yeah.
a bad thing.
After you explain it to me, I totally resonate with it. I love it.
So for those who are not aware of what the soft life is, definitely check it out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You'll find a plethora of women that look like ourselves and possibly yourself that are just really tuning in or tapping back into their divine femininity in a sense. You know, they're really seeking wellness and balance and getting away from the daily grind because it's been crazy out there.
It really is. I mean, hustling, grinding, being the boss babe, getting the bag. I mean, how are you ladies doing all this? I don't know.
I don't get it. I mean, I do get it because
I totally
I've been
get it,
I've
but
been
it's
that
like,
person.
Well, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Right. I totally agree. And a lot of it is because society has programmed us to go after this life because they say that's what success looks like.
Yes.
You know, I was reading a statistic, for instance, and I've written this down in my notes. Black women, for instance, are enrolled in college at a higher percentage than any other group. So that just think about that. I mean, one, that's amazing. It's profound. But think about the mindset behind that we as a culture were told this is the way that we elevate and get ourselves ahead.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not, partnering up with whatever you decide to love out there. I have no...
Your significant other.
Yes, your significant other. Not channeling back into your family or going after the things that you desire. It's about going to get more education. And I was one of those people who was like, this is the way to succeed.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, on average, Black women earn roughly 38% less than white men every year. And that's a huge...
Imagine that.
That's a huge gap. And so we're out here grinding, doing
Getting
the
all
most.
those student loans.
Getting all those student loans.
Yeah.
Doing the most, and we make less. And we're tired.
I'm tired for you guys. Because I, Jennifer, did not go that route of higher education. I went to fashion school.
But I still think that counts. I think
my little AA degree from fashion school. But listen, if I wanted to go back to get a doctorate degree at some point, of course I could have done that. But I've already been trying to live the soft life since I was like 16. Okay, so I already knew working a 9-to-5 job was not what Jennifer wanted to do. So for me, everything was about how do I make money, but the easiest way for me to make money. I was explaining to MJ when we started talking about this, I grew up in a household where both my parents worked, but if my mom got laid off from work, my dad's income could support the family. He did not rely on her income to support our family. So for me, I saw it a little bit differently. But again, my mother did work. She contributed to the household and then also did all her feminine stuff and took care of my dad and all her kids and stuff like that. So I understand where it shifts because of the fact I did become a single mother and I had to actually step into my masculine energy and go on hustle mode and grinding mode because I no longer have that partner who helped me with the bills. So I get where these women are doing this. And trust me, you guys, it's not easy. It's not fun. You're burnt out. You cannot be superwoman. You cannot be 100% great at all of these things. Your family, your husband, your work. You cannot. Okay, I hate to burst your bubble. But like, we could do it all. We're women. No, we can't. Something's going to suffer, and it's usually us. And you can't do that. So...
It reminds me of that song back in the day. I'm not your superwoman. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. So let's remove that title because women, you're not meant to be superwomen.
No.
You're meant to have feminine energy, and there's a certain energy that women have about them that it doesn't allow you to go out there and grind and be the provider. Okay? That's what your significant other is for. And usually, well, I have a man for a husband, but if you had a female, if you're in that category, it's like now you both have feminine energy, and now you have to learn how to balance that, which I don't even know how that's possible sometimes. It's a challenge.
I imagine it is a challenge. I think both of our partners are very masculine.
They are definitely alpha men. I don't even want to say males. They're alpha men. They are leaders.
They are. And I think for me, while things have shifted in terms of women's equality and, you know, being able to step in roles that men primarily would be in,
Yeah.
I'm not against that, because I like to work.
Yeah.
Like I like
100%.
I like having an extension away from the identity of my husband.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But to have to work, that's a different story.
I think that is a different story. On the other hand, I think a lot of women, to your point, have lost touch of their femininity. You know what I mean? That I could just do it all better by myself. And it's not necessarily saying you need to go out there and get a partner, but I think that it is important that you do have a support system, that you do have friends, and then you have the best relationship with yourself.
Yes.
I think, you know, at some point, this hustle mentality could just really work against you, and busyness basically becomes like this crown of achievement, but it's a very, very faulty crown. It's a shaky crown. Like you could, who are you if you're not busy? You see what I'm saying? Who are you if you're not doing all the things?
Right.
And what do you look like if you take that away? So I think that that's what's happening in this world, is that women are and I'm sure COVID, the pandemic, had a lot to do with it, because we all had to slow the hell down, and we had these labels taken, I shouldn't say taken, but removed.
They were removed.
Yeah, they were removed from us. And so taking a look around and recognizing that what's happening has been a false narrative, and I can do more in my life or desire more in my life without doing more. Like I can do less in life and still have abundance. And I know for me that's kind of where I lean more into the soft life, if that makes sense. Like I'm thankful I have my partner. I'm thankful that he has that masculine energy. But at the same time, like I know how I can yield my masculine energy as a tool. You know, that I can turn it on when I want to,
and then turn it off.
And then I can turn it off.
That's the key, though.
Yeah.
You have to know how to use the masculine energy. When you're a single mother, it's on. There is no turning it off. So now you're starting to chip away at your feminine energy, and you're starting to lose that. And just referencing back to Black women and how they're very highly educated and they're getting paid less. Let's just be honest. I know a lot of single Black women, and what do they always say? It's so hard to find a good man. Because now that these women have stepped into that masculine role, and then you do have a partner come into play, I hear a lot of men saying, well, she doesn't need me. What does she need me for? Right. And I have a lot of girlfriends who grew up in single parent households. I did not. So when I hear my girlfriend say, I could just do it myself, I could do it myself. Now you're taking away the power of your significant other, who is there to actually want to support you and to take care of you, because that is really what masculine energy is. It's to be a provider. Right. And to make your partner feel secure, and to make them feel safe. If you start stripping that stuff away from your significant other, you have nothing left. You know what I mean? They start feeling less than. And when I was in that masculine role and I was dating, I think I had told you, I had went back to my exes and was like, what is it about me? And they clearly said, well, you don't need me. You don't need, and my husband always says this, I don't want you to need me. I want you to want me. But there is an exchange of energy there that you do need from your partner. And I get what he's saying. He's like, I don't want you here just to have me pay for your life. Right. I get that part too, because we all know that there's women out there that are gold diggers who just want to sit there and actually not work. But here's the deal. If something hits the fan, my husband knows I can go out there and hustle with the best of them. and I know how to make it happen and make it go when
Right.
it needs to go, if
Right.
that's what needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not in that situation. But he also knows he has a ride or die that will be like, okay, baby, let's do this.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah,
Let's make it happen.
exactly.
So I know you said that really you've been desiring or tapping into the soft life since you were about 16 years old.
Yeah.
And then how old were you when you had your daughter?
I was 26.
26, okay. And then things shifted. You're now a single parent and, you know,
When
trying.
my daughter was two or three.
Okay,
became
wow.
a single parent.
So did you recognize even then, you know, you're out there grinding and making things happen. Do you recognize even then that, hey, maybe, did you feel like you're pulling away from, maybe not calling it the soft life at that time, but pulling away from what we would call it now?
Yeah.
Did you recognize it at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I met my daughter's father, we had a goal.
Mm.
You know, we moved to LA together. He was in music, I was in fashion. Like, we had goals on what we wanted to try to achieve. But he had a different way of doing things than I did. But we both were out there hustling and grinding and getting it done.
Right.
But when I became single, and then I was like, okay, I should be able to lean on my partner more if I don't want to go back to work after my daughter is born.
Right.
If I want to be a stay-at-home mom for the first 5 years, I should have that option, and I didn't. So I think for me, resentment started to come into play. Like, why aren't you doing more? Like, come on. Like, my dad worked 2 jobs and got a master's degree. You know what I mean? While he worked those 2 jobs. Like,
Right.
why? You know, so for me, it was that kind of questioning. So then I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go out there and make it happen and do what I had to do. And got my real estate license, started selling houses. And then we ended up splitting. And then I was like, okay, I really got to like
Hold it down.
down for me and my daughter.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, here we go. And, you know, I had gotten out of fashion and went into real estate. And real estate was good. And then we had that crash.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, uh-oh. Then I had to get a whole different job. But because I was a single mom and my mom helped me and my dad helped me, but then my mom ended up passing away, I had to have jobs that allowed me the freedom to drop my daughter off, pick her up, and do all these things.
Right.
And so I just had to do it. You know what I mean? But I remember being resentful because I couldn't stay at home with my daughter when I wanted to.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I remember.
That's tough.
It was tough. It was tough.
Wow. And I'm sure a lot of other women can really feel that too because it's difficult out there, especially now with inflation and all that.
Oh,
It's just,
yeah.
I mean, our society doesn't set up women to be able to have that time to be able to nurture and to mother after having a child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So right from that onset, as you're going through this transformation, you're not even able to lean into nurturing that more.
Right.
You understand what I mean? Because once you become a mother, that femininity just really
Yes.
just
Takes over.
It takes over. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's so innate. I mean,
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's at least how it was for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And so not to be able, I feel for those women who didn't have that opportunity to really channel into that and got to go back to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not being able to take that time to nurture and foster and really, because not a knock to the dads out there. We appreciate y'all, you know, 100%, but it's really on the mama. And
Always.
And it's just a completely different relationship with your child versus the father. And if we go back in time, you know, that's why the mother was at home in the cave taking care of the child while the husband's out there hunting and gathering. And maybe down the road when the child's walking and moving, mama might get back out there and hunt too, you know, as dynamics change. But really, especially when you have a child, I just can't imagine. Because I know for me, it was, I had that luxury, which was, and it's sad because this part of me that I still am working on letting go. I don't know if I'll ever let it go because I try to yield it as a tool. But that hustle mentality that's just ingrained in me.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to work after I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to go back to work. I wanted to go because so much of my identity was tied to
Your position.
my position and what I did and what I brought to the table and who I was and I didn't really give myself the chance to lean into like, no, this this is who you are becoming.
Yes.
And I recognize it now. My daughter's 4, but I really was given such a gift, and I, in a lot of ways, took it for granted. But because, what was ingrained in me in terms of what looks like success, like,
Yes.
I mean, think about it even with celebrities.
Oh,
like, they
God,
snap back.
Oh yeah, their bodies are
Yeah,
back to
you know
them.
what I mean? They go on tour right after they have a
But
baby.
they have nannies. They have money.
I know, but I think that plays into, here I am, a young woman, that plays into
we see
that.
that, and then we put that pressure on ourselves.
We put
like,
our
I gotta get back in shape. I gotta
Right.
do this. I gotta do that. And you really don't. It's
No.
like you gotta give your body time, and you gotta take that time with your baby and
Right.
bond and just chill. But you know,
I think, though, for me, having my daughter was such a catalyst in terms of entering and recognizing the soft life existed. My daughter is like ultra feminine. I mean, and I love it. My husband, I talk about it all the time, but she dresses up all the time. We go to breakfast, she's wearing an Elsa outfit. She's wearing Princess Jasmine. She's Cinderella. Like, there's a place that we go to all the time, and when we check in, she's like, oh, who is she dressed up today as? Like, it's just her thing.
I love it.
And every day is a fashion show, and I absolutely love that she expresses herself through her femininity. Like, she's so particular about her hair. She loves getting her nails done. I mean, we own a nail shop, so that doesn't hurt. But she's just very particular in terms of just who she is when she enters a space, and really just tapping into that feeling and taking care of herself. I mean, she knows when it's time for her to rest. She's so, her self-awareness, she's so in tune. And just really watching her just be and not trying to put labels upon her. Because believe me, I'm like, okay, babe, do you want to play soccer? Like, do you want to do some sporty stuff?
Don't do that.
No. I don't, because part of me is like, am I putting
I
these...
like the girly girl.
No, I love it. I'm not going to lie, but part of me is like, am I
hindering her if
well,
you're
not
not
even
allowing
hindering.
her to
I'm not
explore other
hindering,
stuff?
But am I putting this on her? Like, am I putting these societal,
No.
mindset of like, you need to be this type of woman?
I don't think you are.
I don't think so either. And I've had friends and family tell me the same thing. They think that's just innately who she is.
I don't think MJ is a very woke parent. So I can't even imagine you saying that right now.
Well, I'm saying I've thought that before. I don't necessarily think that now.
Okay.
Now I think I'm proud of the parent that I am. And I think I can be proud of the parent that I am because, again, having her has been such an invitation to tap back into my own femininity and really just recognize who I am and really love myself. I mean, even tapping into cycle syncing and really understanding myself from autonomy. The words, autonomy. From that standpoint, and just recognizing how powerful my body is, and not beating myself up in terms of the ebbs and flows of my cycle and my energy and my hormones, and recognizing that's actually powerful. That's what makes me divine.
We give life.
Right. And
There's
so
nothing more profound than that.
So for me, I'm so thankful that I've had my daughter because kids will make you slow down. Let's just be honest. But witnessing her live and explore life has been such the invitation to really help me tap back into who am I without all of these labels, even without being a mother. Like, let's go back.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Let's go back to before,
Yes.
I became a certified project manager or influencer or coach and blah, blah, blah. Before I became a wife, who am I at my core?
Who is MJ?
Yeah. And it's been this new exploration that I really am enjoying it. It's been alluring. It's been frustrating sometimes. And enlightening, but I feel I am so thankful to have this space and the mindset to be able to embark on it.
Yes.
And it's a daily choice. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
From what I put in my body, how I move, how I get up and get dressed, how I do my hair. I mean, how I talk to yourself, how I talk to myself, how I look at myself in the mirror, how I get my nails done. Every aspect is so intentional because my relationship with myself needs to be as strong as possible. Yes. I gotta love me. Every inch, every crevice, every dent, every
Crease.
cellulite, crease,
Yes.
all of the things. And I do
We don't
believe
have to love cellulite.
with cellulite.
We don't have to love
It's okay.
cellulite.
Cellulite's okay.
No, I'm learning to embrace it. But I am trying to manifest it to go away.
Hey.
I'll go ahead and say that. But
So
yeah.
let's give some examples on how people can embrace a soft life. What do you think?
How they can embrace the soft life? Well, I think you just said when you start pulling back the onion, the layers, and you start taking away those labels. Who are you?
Right.
I think you should start there.
I love that.
Because you're not a mom, you're not just a girlfriend, you're not just a daughter, you're not just all the labels we put on ourselves. We need to remove those.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able to sit there and be like, okay, I know who I am, which probably not, it's gonna take some work. I would go down that road first and examine that, and then I would start rebuilding who I want to be.
Yes, exactly. I think it's important to piggyback on that is, again, when you pull back those layers, is start envisioning who are you without those labels, and what would your life look like if none of these things, money, relationships, whatever circumstances, if none of these things were issues or challenges, what would your life look like, and how would you live without any of these roadblocks, rather. Another thing that I would say is just learning how to discard the mindset of hustle and don't say hustle and flow like the movie, but that mindset, I know, but that mindset of I've got to hustle, I've got to grind, I've got to be the boss babe, and recognizing you can turn that on when you need to, but you don't have to always be on like that. Like, it's okay.
You're not supposed to be, you guys.
No.
You're feminine women, and you have this energy, and life is about ease and alignment. And you are a creator. And so when you're able to tap into that, everything else becomes easy. It flows. The doors open. The people you need to meet. Everything. The universe starts working with you. It's
Alignment.
like a symphony.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be this push-pull, hard, mud, sticky.
Grind.
God, why do you want to do that to yourself? I'm serious. Like, I'm not joking. Everything for me was, how is the easiest way for me to get through this? The easiest, not the hardest. You know what I mean? Like, what is the easiest way? I went to fashion school, y'all, because I thought it would be easy. It was wrong. It wasn't easy. I learned a lot, but that was my thinking. I'm going to go fashion school. I love fashion. It's going to be easy. No, it was the hardest thing ever, but I graduated and I did very well at it. But make your life easy, you guys. You're a creator. Why do you want to make this hard?
Right.
Why?
I agree. And so let's even just have some suggestions in terms of how to get into that ease or that flow or start tapping into that mindset. Do you have some suggestions on how to do that?
Well, I think we said it on a few videos back. Listen, if you are in a situation right now where you're not happy with your existence, if your life, the way things are going, and you are being distracted by everything else that's around you, the news, the job, the economy, the this, your neighbors, your friends, everybody's complaining, right? Shut it down. There's a time in your life where you have to go inward. And unfortunately, when you're married and you have kids and you have bills to pay, it is very challenging to do that, you guys. So I'm not telling you to do this, and I know how hard it is. So when you wake up in the morning, you may have to wake up an hour earlier. Take that time, journal, set your day up, set your intentions for the day. I do this the night before and then when I wake up. So if you can get into the habit of going to bed an hour earlier, waking up an hour earlier, and then all throughout the day, taking those little breaks, go to your car, go to a quiet room, listen to your meditation music, visualize the life you want, feel it in your gut, write things out, do these little things. Now this is if you have a family and you got a lot of responsibility. I'm telling you to take a couple hours that you can throughout the day. I used to always listen to audiobooks in the car when I used to work. I was a salesperson. So I had the ability to do that. I could listen to audiobooks all day long. Okay. If you can do that for yourself. Listen to an audiobook while you're working. Help yourself. These are like little tools that I used to do. But if you are a person who's constantly busy and you got bills to pay, you got to take that time. It's your right.
Right.
It is your birthright to take care of yourself. You will not attract the significant other of your dreams. You will not have the dream job you want. You will not have a happy space unless you love yourself and you're relentless about it. And I mean relentless. So if you are single and you are by yourself, I encourage you to take this time to grow and to learn about yourself.
I love that. Girl, you a preacher.
It's the truth.
No, it's true. It's 100% true. I mean, going back to what you said, I mean, you have to be intentional about this. So even if you know you need to wake up an hour early, get your butt to bed. Don't be on Netflix. Don't be scrolling the TikTok and the Instagram. You know what I mean? You need those sacred times to yourself. So you need to shut it down so that you can give back to yourself. It's really what it comes down to.
Now, you have a smaller child. I have a granddaughter. She does live with me, but we don't have her all the time. She goes to her dad's. So, MJ, you're a mom. What would you tell these moms out here that feel mom guilt? My daughter's 20 now. I don't feel guilty about anything with her. Okay? I take my time. But as a mom to a small child, tell the moms out there, because they're going to feel that guilt.
For me, mom guilt is inevitable, unfortunately.
Okay.
However, I know how much of a better person, not mother, not wife, person I am when I pour back into myself.
Okay.
And I find sacred moments daily, weekly, and I plan things out in the future. For instance, I have a big trip that I'm planning towards the end of this year that I'm going to go to Europe for 2 weeks. See y'all.
By
Bye.
yourself?
No, not by myself. I'm going with a group.
Okay.
But I'll give you the deets.
By yourself?
No, I'm going to Italy. But here's the thing. You don't need to do something big and profound like that.
No.
Like Jen said,
No.
I wake up. Here's the thing. If you're a morning person, wake up early. If you're a night owl, sleep, you can do it in the evening.
Yes, you can.
You know what I mean? So take those sacred moments to tap back into yourself. And I get away from my husband and I get away from Lucky and I let them know. I communicate those needs. I let them know that mommy needs some time to herself. I tell my husband I need some time to myself. And they respect that. And I think they both, especially my husband, recognize I'm just a better person when I have those moments of solitude. And so I will journal. I will daydream. I'll go sit on the backyard and drink tea. Yes. Sometimes even just the art of making a latte for myself feels therapeutic because it's just intentional. I love making my matcha lattes and it feels special. Like I feel like I'm treating myself. I'm my own personal barista. You know what I mean? And I'll add lavender to it. I try little different things. And it's something sacred for me that I can literally pour back into myself.
Absolutely.
So I find those moments that feel, again, very sacred and special and that are just for me.
Yeah.
Not for anyone else to interfere with.
Yeah.
And I love my family. I do all of this for my family.
Yes.
I take care of me for them.
You have to. I cannot say it enough. You have to have self-love.
You have to. And I think, honestly, the soft life movement, I think, is all about that. Is really having,
Absolutely.
It's about having that intentional self-love.
Yes.
Not that I'm going to go and do a spa day and do these big trips. It's an intentional daily practice and an act of love.
I like that. It's an act of love
for
yourself. Love yourself, you guys. That's what you have to do. And if you haven't been loving yourself, you have to start today.
Yep.
Not tomorrow, because this is where disease is created. When you are so disconnected from yourself 100%. And you are not loving yourself and you're giving to everyone else and everything else. That's a huge disconnection, you guys. You have to bring that back in to you.
So I would love to know in the comments, what are you going to be doing in terms of a radical self-love act, to tap into that soft life? And it doesn't have to be radical. Radical for you could be, I'm waking up an hour early, a half an hour early,
that
15
radical.
minutes. To me, that's radical because those little incremental steps can have profound and radical changes in your life. And it takes one little thing at a time, So share in the comments. I want to know what you're going to be doing to shift yourself more into the soft life.
Love it.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye.